Welcome friends, this is Amy. Let's get crafting. So this is one of those ceramic circular trays from Dollar Tree, or not Dollar Tree, Target. And I'm just going to put some of this very pretty green around, and so I can highlight the colors that are in the napkin that we're going to Mod Podge down. And I believe it's called Mossy Meadow. I did put some tape on it so I didn't get things messed up around the edge, but as you can see it leaked through, so I'm not sure what that was all about. But here are these cute little napkins that I found, and I'm just going to trim around it, and then I'm going to de-ply it. And if it's 2 to 3 layers, bring it down to the very first layer. It looks like this one was 3 layers. And just be real careful, and then we'll get the Mod Podge and we'll put that down. It is your choice whether to use it on top or not. I believe I did. So now everything is dry, and I'm just getting one of these little cupcake holders, and I didn't know what end do I want to put on there first, so I decided to just put the smaller end in on the plate and then have that little wavy edge on the bottom so you can see it more. And that E6000 works so nice. Just let that dry, and it turned out really cute. Super easy, fun little project. Let's move on to DIY number 2. This one is a nice quick one too. You can tell I was in Dollar Tree and Target, recently Target. This calendar came from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put that and make a little sign, and the white or the wooden piece came from Target. And I'm just using my trimmer, and I'm just going to trim it down so it fits in there and nothing is, with a frayed edge or anything. Nice and sharp. And in order to attach this, I'm just using the double-sided, the super sticky tape. There's a lot of different varieties. I think this is Score Pal. Stampin' Up! Has some too. A lot of companies, different companies make this. I used to sell it on my Etsy shop. I don't currently have any, but it can be bought through Stampin' Up! And then I'm just going to eyeball it, put it in there. I've cut this down so it should be straight. And as you can see on the very bottom, there's a little bit of space where you're not going to be able to cover it with that paper, but I really didn't worry about it because everything blended so nice. You don't even really notice it unless you're really looking for it. And now this needed something more, and so I decided to take the little basket and make it 3-dimensional, and that just kind of gives a little pizzazz to this cute little piece of decor. And just using some scrap cardstock and going to eyeball that so I can just start to weave a little basket with some ribbon. And just take your time, do your tie it down somehow, and get your straps the one way, and then you'll do the other side and just do the weaving. I'm not gonna lie, this was a little tricky with handling these little snippets of ribbon, and so I just did the best I could. It ended up doing just fine, coming out really cute, and using my hot glue. And then I'm just massaging that down so it kind of looks like it is a 3-dimensional basket. And then I put some this is like a foam piece that'll kind of pop that up. And then it needed more, so I did get out some flowers and just kind of picked them apart. Those that needed insides, I put rhinestones. Some of them already had, something in the middle. And just put that in there however you like. And I love how it turned out. I think it added something to have that three-dimensional, piece to it. Gave it a little bit extra. Just using, one of the prints from a calendar. Well, let's move on to DIY number 3. I've got an egg-shaped form, and these I believe you can get at Dollar Tree. I ended up ordering mine off of Amazon and paying more, but I didn't think I was going to be able to get any. Now this rope is that lighter rope you can get at Dollar Tree. And I'm just showing you how I'm starting this, and this is how I'm going to wrap this wreath, and then I'm going to go back and do more of the same in the other 2 spokes. And every so often I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue and just keep going. Here I've gotten around the entire thing, and I'm just going to go through there and make it work by popping it through. Some of this was a little more difficult because of course we've got that other rope there, and so I did kind of have to move the wire a little bit just to make it work to pop it through. And then I will mention too, and you'll see that I used 4 of the packages of the Dollar Tree rope. And I noticed as I was doing this that they weren't all exactly the same thickness. They weren't all the same length. So over time, I think they've gotten a little bit less and less. This is showing the back side of what I wanted to cover up. So you can see all the 4 different ones I used. And I picked this up at Walmart. I want to say it was $1.69 or something similar to that. Just a little fat quarter of this pretty buffalo check. And then I had this ribbon too. I think I got this a while ago at Dollar General. And I'm just going to make a bow. But I'm just starting to figure out how much of it I need. And so put that on before you put your backing on. And I didn't make the bow yet. I thought I'm going to wait so it's flat, flip it over, and then you can put your fabric on the back. It worked really nice to put the fabric down with this hot glue. It stuck very nicely. And I just kind of went like you would with corner to corner, even though there's not corners. Just kind of go on each side and then go in between where you did the 4 areas. Now I've got that glued, and I'm going to make a bow. Come back to the front here. I did glue it, and then I secured it with just a smaller rope so I can make a little ribbon. A little bow, I mean. I also didn't want that to come undone, so I did put a little glue in there too. I want to mention I have a rabbit I want to do too. My daughter loves rabbits, and so I didn't have any of the brown rope, and that's what she wanted on hers. So I will be getting some of that brown rope, and we'll be making that rabbit. I ended up getting it through Amazon because, like I said, I didn't think I was going to be able to get it through a Dollar Tree. I didn't know when I was going to get to a Dollar Tree. So it cost me it ended up being like $9-10 each piece. Where at a Dollar Tree, it'd be $1.25. But you never know if you're going to get one. So I took the gamble, and I thought, it's okay. It's still worth what it is. But if you can get it cheaper, that'd be great. My guess is somebody maybe just bought some up and then they just sold them on Amazon. I'm not sure. What do you guys think of that cute egg? I really love how it turned out. So stay tuned, that bunny rabbit will be coming to maybe in the next video. DIY number 4. Here's some bunnies. I believe I bought this last year and I think it's kind of meant to be a garland. And then this is just one of those little coffee boxes. And I'm looking at it and I can see that the lip of that coffee box is going to, kind of be a bother. I would have loved to keep that on there, but it's going to make things slanted. So I did take my knife and I did my best to trim it off. It didn't come off all that great. So I did end up getting the scissors and doing more trimming. And it still didn't look perfect, but I did the best I could. I wanted to make these little bunnies flat on the bottom because they were kind of circular. So I just took my knife and kind of made some grooves and worked at it until we got that little piece cut off both of the bunnies. And then getting a little spackle just to fill in those holes where you would hang it if you were going to do a banner. And I didn't know how well the paint would stick to this. Once I started sanding this, I noticed it's just paper. So it even was a little bit rough when I got done with it, but I thought, well, now the paint will really stick nicely. Got my Dixie Belle drop cloth color out, and I believe I ended up doing 3 coats. And I also did both bunnies, front and back. Alright, so now we're just going to attach the bunnies to both sides, and I'm using 2 glues, the Aleene's white glue and then the hot glue for instant hold. If you got room, it's always good to go with the 2 glues. That way it'll last a long time. And I wanted a handle, of course, and so I'm just looking at things and going to use my little knife to cut that down, and it snapped off just fine on that dowel. And that's the thing, there wasn't a lot of room to put both glues, and so I did have it kind of come apart. Ideally, it'd be nice if a person could just put like some kind of a nail or something through the side. And here I'm just kind of putting a little bit of the antique wax on there, the brown. And I did that also with the other piece. While I had my brush ready, I went ahead and did my next piece that you'll see. And here I've got more of that rope out, just going to line the top. Like I said, if I could have had that original edge, I wouldn't have needed to do this, but I just didn't like how rough it looked and uneven. I couldn't do much, with it with the scissors. It's like you try and trim it, and then pretty soon you're trimming over, what you did before, and it just gets to be too much. I decided to paint this base of this little sign truffle color, and then I'm just going to do a little writing in a white pen. That little stick was nice to use as holding it, but then I wanted to get it off. It just snapped right off. Use your 2 glues again and put it onto the little box piece. I've seen a lot of these little tote things that you call them, like little tool chests or whatever they call them, with the little handle in between. I just thought they're so cute. I thought I'm going to make one myself. And then have some little mini eggs and pop those in. Just as cute as can be. And there it is. You could add to this if you wanted to put faces on those little bunnies. I just kind of wanted to leave it plain and accent the front of it. It was fun to make. Maybe you can make one too. A lot of people have made them with like those wood boxes. Let's move on to the last DIY. These peat pots are fun. They come in different sizes. While I had that paint out for the other project, I did use the same drop cloth color, painted the entire peat pot because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I ended up covering this anyway, but it probably did help because then what I'm using is a napkin that it wasn't so dark to, shine through. This happened to be, I think, my favorite one of the day. I love how it turned out. And so spring-like. So I got the antique wax. And I did both of my projects at the same time. And here I'm doing this. Alright, I got a subscriber that sent me a box of some very, very pretty napkins and a few other things, and so I went through it and found these beautiful sunflowers and decided to use this on our peat pot and bring that down to, with the first layer, and get your Mod Podge and apply that down. It's kind of neat with napkins, they're so thin, very easy to work with, very pliable. Just lift and press down, and you can see that the bottoms aren't even there. There's spots in there where it's going to go in, but it just works so well. I inserted it, or I've got it upside down here, just trimming the bottom so I can get the rest of that just to lay back down. I just folded it right over the bottom. And then just do one more coat of the Mod Podge on the front and allow it to dry. Get a little jute twine out, jute string, and just start it out by putting a little dollop of your hot glue and wrap until you don't want any more. I didn't even add a little dollop anywhere else. I just wrapped and went. And I'm deciding that this is going to be the back side of where everything ends up. And I thought it needed a bow, so I took the leftovers on there and I'm going to make a cute little bow and do the same process of what I did with that gray ribbon before, and just tie a little string around 2 loops and trim it down. Now once I got this glue down, I really loved it, but I just wanted one more little piece, to add to it. So I got out my wooden buttons and I put a little string that would match the napkin underneath, went with a green, and I went through the buttonholes and put it down on top of there just to kind of give it a little finishing touch. And then I added more sunflowers, and there it was. Thank you very much, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. I sure enjoyed making it. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next video. Friends, I was just going to ask you too, will you please like my video? It does help my channel grow. I really would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.